One of the things that would like players to do is when you're playing in the duplicate, we need to have your names in your profile. So to do that, if you click on your profile name up in the top corner here next to BB Dollars, and you then want to type, nope, not that, sorry, you want to go to account. My apologies. Okay, so you want to go to account down on the right hand side. Here's a tab. I think if you have an iPad, it's actually down the bottom of your screen. It will have messages, people, history, and account. But if you go to the account, and where it says your real name, you want to type in your name, whatever it might be. So it has to be, you need to have your first name and your last name. It's so that if you have an unusual name, like I think someone's called Chick Chock or something like that, if you have an unusual BBO name, the person knows that when they're playing against you, they actually know who they're playing against. So that's really important. Other things, skill level is not important. You can put down whatever you like. Most people like to put private. That's perfectly okay. And country, then again, you can leave that whatever you like, but we would like it if you said Australia, because that's, if you make any changes. So let's see, if I just change it to Argentina, then a little box comes up saying save changes, and that just will save any changes you make. So that's in your account. When we'll get to playing bridge in a moment. Now, if you would like to actually find the only time we're running a duplicate on Friday morning starting at 9:30, but you can only register to play in the duplicate 1 hour before the start of play. So from 8:30 onwards. To register for the duplicate, both players of the partnership need to be online on Bridgebase Online, and I'll find a competition and I'll show you what I mean. So I have several teaching accounts, and so I have one of the teaching accounts logged in onto my phone. So how you would actually find the duplicate, there's a couple of ways. And the simplest way is to follow our account. And so to follow a person or someone like me, in people on the right down to here, or on your bottom tab in your iPad, if you click on people and show offline, just so it makes it to the right, and then you want to, and you want to find the person, and the person you want to follow is VABF 3375. So the V stands for Victoria, the ABF is the Australian Bridge Federation, and 3375 is actually the Kattery's club number. And when you click on add, if you then look down, it's that's it there. And so when you click on that, it opens up and you've got Kattery Bridge Club. So what happens is I get online at about, when you're looking for an event, you'll be able to find it under that particular profile name. So for example, let's have a look here. I'm now going to wait to find the duplicate every Friday, and we're going to try and run it on other days as well. The first thing you do is go to competitive, because that's where it will be listed, and then you want to just look under all tournaments, and what we'll do is we'll actually find a tournament that's going to come up. We'll follow that person, and then you can see what it looks like when it comes up the next time. So we'll go down and we'll try and find a possible event that we might be able to play in. Don't want to play in India. So okay, so here you can see this EBU underscore 10. When you actually follow the Kattery, when you follow VABF 3375, when you go looking on Friday morning for the tournament, the name will come up. It'll be highlighted in yellow, and then when you click on anywhere in this, you can click anywhere in here in this line, it will open the tournament up, and you can enter with your partner. And what you do is you type in your partner's name, whoever that person happens to be. That person has to be online at the same time as you, and then when you enter that event, then BB dollars will be deducted from your account and from your partner's account, and then you're entered into the event. And so you'll be able to see the details of what the event is. So it'll be the start time, how long you have to wait for the actual duplicate to start. So it might be 10 minutes, it might be 60 minutes, and then how many boards we'll be playing. So just to start with, we'll be playing 18 boards, and the duration I think will be 27 minutes for 3 boards times 6 is 162 minutes. So you'll have just over 2.5 hours to play the hand. And it will say, I think the movement will say like unclocked, which means that what happens when you play 3 boards against a pair, if you finish, say it only takes you 10 minutes to play the 3 hands, or say 15 minutes to play the 3 hands, rather than having to wait 12 minutes for the round to finish, you'll get taken to play against the next available pair that's finished their round as well. So some people who are fast players will actually get through the duplicate much more quickly than the slower players. Okay. Also, you can also look at the entries. So you can look at see who's playing in the event, and then you can also look at who that person is. So if you click on their profile name, it gives you the name of the person who might be entered into the event. The one thing is, if you haven't sent me your BBO name through to bboplayers@kattery.net, then you won't be able to enter into the duplicate, because it's only people who have been accepted that can play. What happens is I check the inbox every morning, and all the emails of people who sent me their BBO name and their email address, I then add their BBO name into what's called an includes list. It just means that only those players can enter the duplicate. We can't have people coming from Sydney or Queensland or really good bridge players coming and playing in a duplicate. It's meant to be just for the people who have received the email from me. And then partnership desk is a thing that if you would like to play but you are only a single person, then you can add your name to the partnership desk, and that means that sometimes when a duplicate starts, a person is not available, and then you become a substitute. And if someone, for whatever reason, if someone can't be there at the start, if you're added as at the partnership desk as a substitute, you may still get to have a game of bridge. What I was going to say, it's also very important that the duplicate starts at 9:30. You need to be online on BBO at least 5 minutes before the start of play, because if the duplicate starts and either you or your partner is not online, you can't get into the event. It's just you can't play, and then you've just wasted your money. It's like, say, that's the thing. Okay, so I think that's all about that. All right. So what's the next thing? So let's see. So we want to talk about when you're actually playing duplicate. So you started and you're playing. We're now going to look at some of the things that you can do at the table. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly set up a table. Just use a practice table. No, we won't. Okay, so I'm just starting up, just pretending that we're playing in a duplicate, and then hands come up. So okay, so when you're bidding, if you're going to make a bid which is alertable, for example, you might be doing a transfer, or if you're playing structured raises, you might be doing a structured raise, or you might be doing a Q bid, or you might be doing a Michael's Q bid, or you might be doing something that is not natural and normal, then you have to alert it. And there are several ways to alert it. I'm going to show you the right way to alert it. And what you do is in this box here, it says explain. You actually type in the meaning of your bid. So it might be shows 5 spades, or it might be Michael's Q bid. Some of the really good things that you can do is instead of typing in spades, if you do shift 1, which is an exclamation mark, and then you put in spades, it will actually put in the spade symbol. So when you've typed in your alert, then you put in your bid. So it looks like that. If instead you didn't do that, so let's just what a lot of people do is they just press this and then they type in their bid. So they put in, and what happens is it puts a red line around your bid, and so what that means to the opposition is you're alerting that bid, but they have to ask you for the explanation, and that's really it gives them extra work to do, and it will slow down your game. It's much, and then to give the explanation, you then have to click on your bid and you have to type in what it means. So it might be forcing. So it's really simple. The really simple way to do it is to when it's your turn to make your bid, type in the explanation at the start. You can't. Okay, lovely. All right, so you can all see my screen again. Okay. All right, so you know it's easier to type in the meaning of the bid, and then to, and then hang on. Have you all got me again? Okay, so it's much better to actually, when you're explaining your bid, to write your explanation and then make your and then press on the bid that you want to make. All right, so I want to show you a couple of things about the bidding. Now there's some really neat tricks that we can do when we're doing the bidding and play. I have to find out where it is. I think it's in account. Okay, so when you're in your account, which is on the side here if you have a computer, and down the bottom on your iPad, if you go to settings, you can actually stop yourself making some silly mistakes. And the easy way to do that is when you're playing cards, you can confirm your bids, and also you can confirm cards. I highly recommend that you don't autoplay singletons, because the play goes much faster than you would like it to go. And also you can also use the keyboard to enter your bids rather than using the iPad or a mouse or something like that. Just to, if you have like really fat fingers and you find the iPad you push the wrong bid all the time, then by changing that to keyboard entry, it stops those sort of mistakes happening. But okay, so we'll leave that like that, and we'll go back to where we were, which is, we'll just minimize this a little bit. Now if you make a mistake in the bidding, then you'd like to, and you say, oops, I didn't mean to do that, then you're allowed to do an undo, and there are several options that are available to you in this in this blue box, which has 3 white lines. I'm not sure where it actually is on your iPad, but if you press that, that allows you to ask for an undo. Now in the bidding, it's really important if someone asks for an undo that you always grant an undo. So when you ask for an undo, normally it won't allow it on, because I'm playing against robots. They don't really care. They just cannot undo. Great. Okay. Love a robot. Oh, I know why. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. So maybe I don't know why it won't let me do that. But normally when you ask for an undo, it will open up a little box just down below here, and it will say someone is asking for an undo, and then either player clicks on yes to say yes, you can have an undo. You can use that in the bidding. You cannot use it in the play. If you play the wrong... This is a correction. You can use an undo in the play, and you would do that if you had played the wrong card. For example, if dummy had the singleton king, and you went to play your ace, but you accidentally pressed on the queen, then you could ask for an undo. And if someone does ask for an undo, then you should grant them an undo. But you can't ask for an undo if you take a finesse and it loses to the king. You can't then change your mind and say, oh no, I don't want to take the finesse, and ask for an undo. That would be highly improper. Also, if you have a problem at your table, for example, someone's taking a long time to bid, they're taking like 5 minutes or 6 minutes or something like that, then in this blue box you'll have an option which will say call director. So this is a little bit different because this is just like playing against robots, but you'll be actually be able to call the director, and then I'll get a message saying you want me at your table, and then I'll come to your table, and we actually have to have a conversation. In the conversation will be, I'll be actually at the table, but the only way I'll be able to talk to you is in the chat bar down the bottom in this white here. Right. So down here it has a message down the bottom here. It has a place where you can type a message, and so when you're actually talking, you're not allowed to talk. One thing you're not allowed to do is talk to your partner. So you can't say. I mean, you can say at the start of the duplicate, do we play transfers, or are we using Gerber or something like that. But once you actually start bidding and playing, you can't talk to you shouldn't be talking to your partner, and you certainly shouldn't be doing a post-mortem and discussing the bidding. So, for example, an inappropriate thing for me to say, something I shouldn't say is partner, don't pass whatever. At the moment the table is blue color. If you actually press on table, what will happen is it will you'll be able to chat to the tournament director. You'll be able to chat to a particular opponent. So but just like say the table normally is if you have a message you want to give to somebody, say for example you need to go to the bathroom, then you could say beat right back, which is just like BRB. Also, if someone does something that you think is really good, you can say well done opponent, or you can say nicely played, and you can say bad luck, and you can type them out, but it's much quicker if you just use the abbreviations. And the aim of the message bar at the bottom is for you to give messages to people at the table about you want to say something nice that they've done, or you want to say something bad luck partner. Like for example, if I want to talk to my partner, which is up here, if I right click on them, it says private chat. When you're actually playing in a duplicate, you won't be able to have that private chat. But just say that this person was sitting over in the east, so let's we can't put them there. But when you click on it, you can actually type in saying you can say how's your mum? How's your mum? And that is actually a private chat that's gone to one. You can only privately chat to one of the opponents, so you can't actually chat to your partner, because that would be a way of conveying information, and that would be highly inappropriate. Okay, so this is meant to be fun. It's meant to be a fun duplicate, and if people are rude, then the easy way is to call the director. And then if someone is continually rude at the bridge table, then they're not going to be invited to come and play in the duplicate, because it's meant to be a fun time and a way to spend some time doing something you really enjoy doing. The next thing is to play in the duplicate, you need to purchase BB dollars, because it's going to cost, I think it costs either $5 or $6 each time you play. And to do that, if you go up into this at the right here, it's called BB dollars. You actually need to go and buy those. And how you do that is when you press it, it will open up a little screen, and we'll just move that up to here, and then you purchase BB dollars. Takes you to a new window, and you can pay with PayPal or with a credit card. It doesn't matter. You have to type in all your information: your name, first name, last name, your email address, your phone number, your country, your postal address, city, state, postcode, and then you have to put in your credit card, etc. And then the amount. Now the amount is always in US dollars, so you can choose to buy any amount that you want to. So I suggest you keep always the BB dollars are used if you want to join the Prime Bridge Club. Also, if you want to play against robots and you want to rent a robot, or if you want to play in a duplicate, then you need to have BB dollars in your account. Otherwise, they won't accept your entry. If you want to, just reiterating about following people, you really like, an expert in America or someone like that, you want to, when you're online, you want to know when that person's online, then in people, you can, just down here is you want to add a friend. And so how you follow somebody. So for example, if you wanted to follow me, for example, then you can look also people who are offline. And that's the easy way, is show offline people as well. And let's say you want to follow Bridget, then you type in her username, which is Bridgie, and then you click add, and that would add it to as a friend, and then she would show up here, or anywhere. Unless you added Zulu, then they would show up right down the bottom of the list under Zulu. And when you are looking at a person, you might see someone online who you would like to know about. For example, say Brig Teach, then you can. When you look at their profile, one of the things you can do is change the neutral to follow. if you find somebody who you don't really like playing against, you don't like playing bridge against them, nothing you can do about that, but you can stop them talking to you by choosing ignore. And when you choose on ignore, then they won't be able to chat to you actually when you play against them at the table. So if you have someone who you don't like, for whatever reason that might be, choosing ignore allows you to not have them involved when you're playing bridge against them. The great fun about playing in the duplicates is that you'll be able to see after a round is finished, you'll be able to see your results straight away on how you've done, whether you've got an average or a top or a bad score or a good score, and you'll be able to look at what other people have done on the same hand. And to find that out, that'd be in history. So when you're actually playing bridge, you'll have your hand in this window here, and what I'm doing is there's this window you can resize. You can make it larger or smaller, and also the chat you can make that larger, and so you can make your actual bridge window larger. So when you're actually playing, your hands will come up in. Let's see. We play this hand very quickly. So we'll just quickly play a hand. So let's say you're happy with the hand and you just want to... We better quickly play this. Can you see that my 3 of clubs hasn't... I wanted to play my 3 of clubs, but it won't let me play it. Or if I click on my 8 of clubs, it actually won't let me play it. So what is in that account, in the settings, I confirm cards. So what it will do is, when I have that option set to on, it will push the card up, but won't actually play it until I click or tap on it a second time. If I take that away, then when I'm playing the hand, it will just automatically play the card for me straight away. Okay, so that's in your settings in your account. Oops. I pressed the wrong card. Okay, obviously it's pretty clear that I've made a mistake to everybody, and so if I ask for an undo, then you'll say yes, that's fine. Okay, so it's well, you in the play, it's for obvious reasons where it's clear that the declarer or a player has played the wrong card. And like say, we may have glitches, we may not, but I think as a general rule, if you make a mistake in that, for example, dummy has a singleton king, and declarer plays a card to the king, and you go to push your ace and the queen comes out, then obviously you're not playing your queen underneath the king, and you can ask for an undo. And people should say, well, that's pretty obvious. But like say, you can't sort of like take a finesse, and when it loses to the king, ask for an undo. Okay, so that's just like an example of what I mean. So we'll just quickly play this out. At the moment, you can see this blue box down here says concede. So if you press that, that means you're going to concede all the tricks. When we press a card and it comes to... So now I can press on claim, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tricks. So when you press on the claim button is a really good way to make the play go faster. So if it's pretty obvious to you that you have the rest of the tricks, or that you have all the tricks bar 1, then you would say, well, I think I can claim this number of tricks. And so in this case, I'm choosing 4 tricks. I'm pressing claim. And then normally a little box will come up for both the opponents saying the declarer is claiming 9 tricks, and do you accept? And both players need to say, yes, I accept. If one person says, no, I can't see it, you're not getting what you're getting, then the claim is disputed. And I think actually then the hand is played open, so everybody can see all the cards. All right, So here's a clear case where I want to do an undo. So let's do 1 heart, and I say, oh, whoops. And so can you see that the OK there has highlighted yellow? So it's saying, because I've asked to confirm my bid, are you sure you really want to bid 1 heart? And I said, no, I'm not sure. I actually want to bid, no, I want to bid 1 spade. And so I click, and no, but I want to bid 1 spade. I bid 1 diamond. So I have to click that OK to make sure that I've made the right bid. And then, so let's say you want to bid 3 no trump. So are you sure you want to bid 3 no trump? You know, it's just like a double check. And how you fix that in your settings is say confirm bids, have them either on or off. I really recommend that when you're playing in a duplicate that you do have confirm bids on and confirm cards on. That you both have them set to the right, because that will make sure, that gives you a second chance to make sure that you actually are playing the card you want to play, or that you are making the bid that you want to bid. Now we were at the history. So if you notice that we played a hand before in 3 no trumps, and it's come up in the history, and when it comes up in the history, we'll just make it so it shows that what the actual hand. Sorry, can't see my hand. It shows the actual hand down here that we had, and we were bidding 3 no trump. Gives the bidding, and it gives the result. So when you've played 3 hands, and everybody has played all 3 hands, in the history it'll have the result, and then it'll have your percentage score will be there. And when you click on the hand, it's other tables, and so there you can see what other people have done on the board. You can see 3 no trump south. I'm scrolling it down, and you can see someone's in 2 spades. Someone went off in 3 no trump, and you're saying, oh, how did they go off in 3 no trump? So if you're really curious and you're the dummy, for example, you can say, well, how did they go off in 3 no trump? Press the 3 no trump, and it comes up, gives the bidding, and then you can actually go through and look at how they played 3 no trump. So you can do that whilst you're a dummy, because you're just sitting there twiddling your fingers whilst partner's playing the hand. You're not involved at all in the play. So history, if you have a computer, history will be in the right hand side like mine. If you have an iPad, it should be along the bottom of your screen. Okay, so you can, on the right it says it's got messages, people, history, account, and tables. That will be exactly the same across the bottom of your screen when you're actually logged into BBO. Okay, and so once you've finished playing in the duplicate, it's over. You've played your the 18 hands. You can go to recent tournaments, and then you can see. You can go and look at the tournament and see how you went. So, like say, you find the event that you played in, which I can't remember what it's called. Could not access. Oh yes, so they've had a problem with the. So what they've done is they've had to delete all the results, so you can't get them from my perspective. But when you actually play on Friday, after the duplicate's over, you should receive a message also in your inbox. So this is messages up here. In your mail. So you've got news, chat. I don't know what's in chat. Okay, so that's just what we had to chat just now. And then in the mail, you'll have a message saying, results from the Friday duplicate. And when you press on that, you can then show you your results and what you scored on each board. And then you can go and look at each board. You can really if you want to get really involved in it, you can. You can look at what other people have done on a hand, and so on. Okay. All right. So we were going to try and enter an event, weren't we? So when you're looking for the duplicate, I'll just need to log out to tell you what it's going to be called. Okay, so what you'll be looking for when you click on competitive, and this is where you're going to be finding all our duplicates, because they call it a competitive event, because you're paying money and also earning master points, receiving master points. So you can look for I have to look in all tournaments, because I'm not sure about any of these other events. So just look in all tournaments. So if you just typed in VABF, then you have like all the clubs which are running events at the moment. Yes. You can tap anywhere you like. You can tap here. Nope. So you tap here. Okay. So if you actually tap on a username, if you actually tap on the host, they call it the host. Let's move that over a little bit. So if you actually tap on the host, then what that does is it shows the actual user who the club is. So instead, if you tap on the event, and when you sorry, going back again, when you tap or click, you can click anywhere along here, and so it tells you the details, what the event is, entries, so who's playing in it, and you can go and look and see. Oh look, here's Magpie. Who's Magpie, and so you can look at who that person might be, or who's Mrs. Wen. You might have a look and see who that might be. So that's why, as you'll notice, Magpie has no name. If you want to play in our duplicates, it is very important that you include your first name and your last name so that we know who you actually are, because having someone like Kids Beer, so that's Kerry Butcher, okay, or Snowy, David Thompson, Deltine. So we would like you to have your names there so that people know who they're playing against. Makes it for a more friendly game if you're playing against, if you know who you're playing against, Keith Cat, rather than playing against, no name of intermediate level. So, and then you can also, partnership desk is where you can add your name for where I will pay for myself, or partner must pay for me, for example, if someone wants to ask you to play with them, and you can add your name in there as well. If you want to be... Yes. Okay, so that if you're playing in an event, we call them events or competitions or duplicates, they're all competitions. You have no say about who you're playing against, because it's completely random. It just BBO organises it all. So it's just like it takes. There's like we'll have a look at this one. There's a maximum of 40 pairs. So when however many pairs enter, it creates the movement to suit that number of pairs. I don't have any say about who you play against. It's just like it's all done automatically in the background, not like when you play totally at a club. If you so we do want to have a friendly atmosphere. We don't want to have yucky bridge players playing in that. So that's why you do have to register your BBO name, because I add that onto the list. And if I get someone comes along who I know would be unsuitable to play in our duplicate, then I just send them a polite email saying, I'm really sorry, but your standard is too high to be playing in our duplicate, stuff like that. There are some times when you might have Bridget playing with someone in there, or my son Charlie might be playing. They're playing just, to make up. One of the problems, Friday is my first time running one, so I don't know what problems I'm going to encounter. But one of the things that happens is people leave tables because for internet connections or something like that, so it's really important. One of the things you can do is hotspot your phone so that you can use your phone internet connection rather than using the house internet connection. That's one way of getting around that. But sometimes you may have a sit out, and so trying to avoid that is you might play against me for 3 hands and Bridget and me, for example, or me and someone else, so that you don't have a sit out and have to sit there and just twiddle your fingers for like 25 minutes or something like that. But if you want to play by yourself, if you don't want to play in a duplicate, then ways you can do that is you can just go into the casual, and you can start your own table. And when you do that, first thing you always do is when you want to play just against robots, you don't want to play against other people, is you make yourself invisible, make the table invisible. So then if you leave it like this, when you click start table, other people will see that, and you'll get people joining your table, like who you have no idea who they are. They might be from from Uzbekistan or from Turkey or somewhere like that, and it makes it very awkward trying to get them off the table. So to make it simple, if you make your table invisible, then you can just start a table, and you just pick a place you want to sit. If you like always being south, I always like being south, so I always sit south. But even if you choose to sit as west, then it will rotate it around so that west will be at the bottom of the screen, and then you can choose a robot. And when you choose a robot, and then it says you're going to have to rent a robot, and you can do that for west, for north, and for east, and then you'll actually play bridge against 3 robots. The bidding may not be entirely ideal, but at least you're getting to practice bidding and playing. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? So you just play bridge for free? No, the BBO doesn't know people's real names. It only knows people by their username. So if you're playing with me, then you would enter Bridge Guru. If you're playing with Bridget, you'd enter Bridgie. If you're playing with, yep, okay. So it has to be the BBO username. That's the only way BBO knows who is who. Okay, so if you have an ABF number already, then you can go to the ABF masterpoints site. So which is I would always check. I would make 100% sure that you so you go to ABF masterpoints, and you can go and actually look up. So who's asking me? Sorry, Barbie. Okay, so Barbie, Barbara. Let's get master points. Okay, so if you haven't, so there's no players list. So if you haven't actually ever registered with the Australian Bridge Federation, to do that you have to register through a club. That's the only way you can do that. So you can register through the Kattery, or you can register through Portsea or Rye or any other. If you can get in contact with them and they can register you, then you can do it that way as well. No, so that's through me. So that's through. So it's like the Kattery at Sorrento. So on the Kattery website, you can actually join the Kattery, and what happens is, as soon as when you do that, I receive an email, and as soon as I get that email, I then I'll send you back an email, because they want to know certain things about you, like I need to know your address. But the thing what they do is, when they register a player, they need to know the birth, the day of the month that you were born, and the month that you were born, not the year, but just like 15th of January or 22nd of August or whatever that might be. The year they don't care about, but they won't register a player unless they actually have that information, and they use that information to double check their database to make sure they're not having 2 players registered with the same details. Okay? Yes. Yep, so who's talking to me? So we can look you up. Yeah, I know. Is it with an E on the end? Okay. So you're registered with the Alexandra Club. Yep. And so check your details. So when you're current, it has all this information. But if you're not current, then if you're inactive, then like my friend Hayden, he's not an active player, hasn't been for a while, so we could look him up. So it says inactive, and when you actually press details, it'll just say inactive. So that's a way that you can check if your ABF number is active or not. If it is inactive, then you just need to join up with a bridge club. You need to pay whatever their joining fee is. Yep, ABF Master Points. That's correct. Yep, tell you straight away. That's all right. Okay, Nick, my pleasure. Next question. I don't know. I think we have about 45 players have registered their BBO name. So I've created the event. It's up there, and from 8. So certainly from 8:30 a.m. on Friday morning, you can actually register to play in the event. And then I think I may have set up too many tables. I think I put in 48 tables, thinking maybe that's 48 people. So it's but but it'll be able to accommodate everybody who wants to play. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty easy one to answer. As long as they have physical distancing, I don't think a bridge club can operate. Okay, so if you want to become a member, I'll just share the screen again. Where are we? Okay. So if you want to become a member of the Kattery, then you just go to our website, and so which is it's Kattery.net, and then just under Kattery, or if you just type in Kattery Bridge Clubs with a K, because we were originally we were called Bridge in the Kattery because it was a play on words in that there was Bridget and me being last name Cat. And when you actually press on Cat, yep. So it's actually on my screen. You can see it. Yep. And then right. And then if you just join the Kattery, then it'll take you to and then just pay now, and then it'll take you to your payment page where you can pay. Yeah, so when you press on pay now, it will it should do. So it says $40, and then you can pay with PayPal, or you can pay with a credit card. So it's entirely whatever you want to do. Okay. So what will happen then is once you do that, I should get an email, and I'll stop that for a moment. What happens is I actually get an email straight away, and then I'll have your address, but the only thing I won't have is the day that you were born, like the 15th, and the month that you were born. I'll send you an email asking for that information, and then as soon as I get that information, I'll then register you with the Australian Bridge Federation. And it's like in effect, it could be done within 5 minutes.